life, and I am a relayer.
Woo!
I love Relay for Life, rain or shine.
Woo!
And let's not forget why we're here. We're here to celebrate. We're here to remember, and we're here to fight back. So, first, let's celebrate and get the party started.
Woo!
28 years.
Wow.
Woo! Who would have thought 28 years ago, when one man with a vision stepped on a track on a mission to find a cure for a disease that was robbing him and robbing all of us of the people that we love. One man, one day, more than 83 miles and over $25,000.
Wow.
I don't think anyone could fathom the movement that this has become. How do you quantify hope and healing? I was given the privilege of introducing this evening's speaker. He defies words, but I will do my best. The man who gave us the gift of Relay, the hope, the healing, and a place to come and fight back. It is my distinct privilege to introduce Dr. Gordon Klatt.
Hello, Tacoma! It's wonderful being here. 28 years. The City of Destiny Classic. That's what we called it back in 1985. About 2 months ago, I started having some symptoms that were disturbing to me. And being in medicine, I knew some of those symptoms. And I eventually got checked very quickly. One of my friends did an upper endoscopy on me. And in late March, I was diagnosed with gastric adenocarcinoma, or stomach cancer. Thank God all the scans thus far have been negative for any spread. And I'm in the hands of some good people at the Seattle Cancer Center. I want to mention Dr. Anthony Bach, who's my medical oncologist, who I've dealt with a number of times over the years with patients of mine who have gone up to see him and be treated by him. And I was always impressed with his communication with the patients and with the communication with me. And now he's my doctor. So I'm in good hands, and I have a good surgeon at the University of Washington, and I'm undergoing chemotherapy currently, and I've had 2 cycles, and I'm going to get another cycle next week, and then have portion or all of my stomach removed in July, with 3 more courses of chemotherapy probably after that, depending upon what the stage is. So things are positive, okay? Positive. I have had time, however, to be off of work a little bit. I'm still working, but I'm working kind of like half or 3/4 time. And I've had some more time to reflect. And I think those of you in the audience who have been diagnosed with cancer can relate to this, but it's a wake-up call. And all of a sudden you start looking at yourself, looking at where you've come from, what's going on in your life and where you're going. And I've had a lot of time to think about cancer. Also, I'm in the middle of reading a book about cancer, and I would recommend it to any or all of you today. It's the history of cancer, and the name of the book is The Emperor of All Maladies. And it's the history of cancer, and I have lived some of that history. Back when I was a medical student at the University of Minnesota, we had just started using 5-FU, which was the only thing we had just about, plus a few other very caustic agents that are not being used today. But 5-FU is still being used. As a matter of fact, I took my last dose on the second cycle yesterday. So this was a drug that was developed at the University of Wisconsin and is still being used as one of the many, many chemotherapeutic drugs. However, it is very clear to me in reading the history of cancer that part of the reason for our big success over the last 30 to 40 years, those are the times that I've been in medicine, is because of chemotherapy. And as I look out at you today, I look at one shiny bald head out there who looks a little bit like me. His name is Dr. Frank Senecal. He's lived this as well as I have, but it's the medical oncologists who have really made the biggest jump in this cure rate. The surgeons have done a little bit, but actually the surgeons are doing less now. We used to remove the whole breast on people and on part of their chest wall for breast cancer. Now we do lumpectomies. We're doing less invasive surgery. However, the invasiveness of the medical oncologist is there. In The Emperor of All Maladies, there's a quote from Hamlet, which is very interesting. This is Shakespeare, a long time ago. And the paraphrase that he states that when you have a very dangerous disease, you have to treat this disease with dangerous appliances. And I look at those dangerous appliances as medical oncology and chemotherapy. But he also says at the end, if you don't use these dangerous maladies, you might as well stop and give up. So in other words, you have to treat danger with danger. Over the years, I've had cancer patients who have said, I don't want to be treated. I'm going to use a different method. And a lot of the naturopathic methods are very helpful as long as you use medical oncology also. However, if you don't use the science that has been developed over the last 40 to 50 years, you're probably not going to survive the disease. Back in 1968, when I graduated from medical school, 1 out of 3 cancer patients were cured. Now, 68%, according to American Cancer Society statistics, show that we're curing that many. 68%.
Woo!
We're talking about all cancers here. I'm talking about breast cancer. I'm talking about pancreas cancer. I'm talking about lung cancer. I'm not talking about a site-specific cancer. We're talking about all cancers here. And all of you here today have probably, one of you out there has one of those 125 or so cancers or knows someone who has had them. But the American Cancer Society is all about curing all of those cancers. A mighty, mighty job ahead of us. However, over those 40 years that I've been in medicine, it's about 1% per year increase in cure rate. So I figure in recent years we're doing a better job of research. We're raising more money because of things like Relay for Life. That probably it's going to increase and be more than 1% a year in the next few years, which puts it about maybe 20 years from now, we'll have cured cancer. Don't hold me to it, but that's my goal. And those of you who have been involved with me in Relay for Life know I like to set goals. In reflecting, I want to also close. In closing, I'd like to also say that I reflected on a lot of my time in my educational years. And 4 of those years were at the University of St. Thomas in Minnesota, St. Paul, Minnesota. Liberal arts college, very much like UPS or PLU here, about the same size. And one of the courses that I had to take was logic. Logic is probably one of the courses that I took in undergraduate school that has been the most helpful to me throughout my life. Logic is used as a basis for reasoning, it's a basis for mathematics, it's a basis for all decisions that we make. But logic, when you study it, you list certain premises and then you have a syllogism and all of these words that don't make sense at many times. But I want to give you one of these syllogisms as a closing. And this is from the books of logic, which is really the basis of philosophy. Relayers raise money. Money funds research. Research cures cancer. Therefore, the conclusion, relayers kill cancer. And every time you see a new drug brought out, every time you see a breakthrough in cancer cures, you and I and all of us who raise money are a part of that cure. Thank you very much and have a great relay.